Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Laurel Park here on Saturday. It is September the 29th, 2018. Gonna look at all the stakes races on today's program from Laurel, but before I get onto that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. So we're gonna look at all the stakes races 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So races 4 through 9 basically. Let's get on to it, starting off for race 4 from Laurel. The fourth race, as my iPad craps out. It always happens during these videos. Fourth race, if we could ever get to it. I hate technology sometimes. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. When it doesn't agree with you, it's bad. But the fourth race, finally, it is the Fine Stakes. It's going for a purse of $75,000. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 11 horses here. We have a few main track only. The 6 horses a main track only. The 9 horses a main track only. So we'll have a field of 9 horses on the turf course, most likely going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, with the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16th on the turf course. 1,700 meters, a mile 16th. Rail, I believe, is at, let's see, rail's at 0 feet, so they'll be using the inner portion of the turf course. And I show that diagram. It just gives me a second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. Sorry, I'm stupid. I can't do 2 things at the same time. My top selection here in the 4th. I like the 2 horse, Just Howard. Gonna go 2-11-8 in the tricast of the trifecta. 2-11-8 tricast trifecta. Top selection of 2 horse, Just Howard. 4-year-old colt by English Channel. Fergal Lynch picks up the mount for Grand Motion, who I think is very loaded on this card today. The horse's most recent outing came the 9th of August here at Laurel, yielding turf, mile 16th and optional 25 claimer. The horse won by 1.5 lengths. Loved the give in the ground, took off nicely, a very easy victory there. Major improvement off the race before, which came the 7th of July at Arlington, mile 3/16, the grade 3 Arlington handicap. The horse finished 5th by 2 lengths, wanted to go, but Fergal Lynch had a strong hold on the horse, just weakened out of it at the end. It wasn't the day to win against those horses. And then the grade 3 Dixie at Pimlico on Preakness Day, sloppy going, mile 16th on the main track. Horse finished 3rd by 1/4 lengths. Only had 4 horses were in the race there. He stalked early on, but then just hit the wall. It wasn't the day to win. He does his better running on the turf, and he won this race last year on soft ground by a neck, really closing up well. He had a really good race. I like him a lot here today. He's not the best odds at 2-1, but he should still run well. Watch out for him to run a big one. So to recap my selections for the 4th from Laurel, it's the Fine Stakes. Gonna go with the 2 horse, Just Howard. Gonna go 2-11-8 in the tricast of the trifecta. So now let's get on to race 5 from Laurel. It's the Shine Again Stakes per $75,000. This race is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses going to the post. Distance of ground here of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the Laurel main track. 1,400, 7 furlongs. Top selection, I like the 4 horse here, the 4 horse Kareen. Hopefully I said that right, probably didn't, but just pardon that. I'm going to go 4-7-5 in the tricast of the trifecta. 4-7-5 tricast trifecta. Top selection of 4 horse Kareen. 4-year-old filly by First Dude. Jorge Vargas Jr. is on this one. The horse's most recent outing came the 25th of August at Saratoga. 7 furlongs in the grade 1 Ballerina. The horse finished 8th by 10 1/4 lengths there. It was just too, the other horses were just too classy for this one. She was very wide, and she just was at the back of the pack most of the race. It wasn't the day to win. Before that, Saratoga, 7 furlongs in the Shine Again Stakes there. Quite unweird. She was quite weird. She ran Shine Again at Saratoga. Now she runs at the Shine Again at Laurel. But at Saratoga, she finished 2nd by length. She was a little bit wide, but she had a little bit of a turn of foot there. It wasn't a worst race for her. And then before that, Delaware, 6 furlongs in the Jasmine Beauty Stakes. Horse finished 3rd by head. If the race was 6 1/4 furlongs, she would have won. Or 6 furlongs, about 70 yards, she would have won. But she ran her heart out there. And then at Belmont, 7 furlongs in the Bed of Roses. She finished 3rd by 6 3/4 lengths. She didn't break all that well, but she had a little bit of a turn of foot there. It wasn't the worst race again for her. Back to Laurel today, where she's 7-3, back at a perfect distance. I just think she'll run well. 9-5, not the best price, but again, she should do well, so watch out for her. So to recap my selection for the 5th from Laurel, Shine Again Stakes, gonna go with the 4 horse Kareen, gonna go 4-7-5 in the tricast of the trifecta. Race number 6 now from Laurel, it is the Shaladon Stakes. It's going for a purse of $75,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 11 horses going to the post, a distance of ground of 1,400 meters, with a distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the turf course. Main main track, excuse me, 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs, Laurel dirt course, main track. Top selection here. I like the 5 horse. The 5 horse who is top of mind. Gonna go 5-2-6 in the tricast of the trifecta. 5-2-6 tricast trifecta. Top selection of 5 horse. Top of mind. Ronnie Jenkins trains this one for Victor Carrasco. The horse's most recent outing came the 14th of July locally here at Laurel. About a mile 16th, an optional 32 claimer. First start in a little over a year. The horse won by a neck there. From the rail, he sat back early but had a great turn of foot, and with a longer stretch here at Laurel, he really took advantage of it, and he got there in the end. Got there in the end, and then he weekend out of it. But he ran well there. Before that, at Delaware Park, mile and a half in the Cape Hendelson, the horse finished ninth by 11 lengths. He must have got injured out of that race because you didn't see him for a year afterwards. Way out of it most of the race. It just wasn't the day to win. And then at Pimlico, mile 16th in the Dixie, horse finished ninth by 9 1/4 lengths. It's in the heights a little bit too high there. It just wasn't his day to win. World Approval, who won that day, is a hell of a horse. And then at Laurel, yielding ground 1 mile in the Henry Clark Stakes of 2017. Horse finished sixth. Again, against Tougher, he never showed up. But I think coming here off the layoff to dirt today, he showed he could win on dirt last time out, even though he desperately needed the race. If you watched the final half furlong, but back to dirt again. I think he'll really do well. 7-3 on this Laurel dirt course. Watch out for him to run a big one at 9-2. So to recap my selection for the 6 from Laurel, so Chaladon Stakes, gonna go with the 5 horse top of mind. I'm gonna go 5-2-6 in the tricast of the trifecta. So now let's get on to race number 7. The 7th race from Laurel, it's the Baltimore Washington International Turf Cup. Grade 3 race here, going for a purse of $200,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 10 horses going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, with the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Laurel turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile. The Washington, D.C. International race years ago, which was the Breeders' Cup basically for North America before the Breeders' Cup turf. You saw some good horses always coming in from Europe to run in this race, and then they last ran it in 1994, and then they took this race back, and I believe in 2016. And every year it's been getting a little bit better. So maybe in a few years' time, you might see the old race regain its old glory, or even if it regains the quarter of its old glory, it would still be a great race. I like. I'm a very big history fan, and I like seeing these old races come back after a long hiatus. But my top selection here in the DC International, or the Washington International, Baltimore Washington International, what the fuck they call the race now. A top selection here. I like the 7 horse projected. I'm gonna go 7-10-1 in the tricast of the trifecta. 7-10-1 tricast trifecta. Top selection 7 horse projected. 6-year-old gelding by showcasing here. Joe Bravo, Jersey Joe Bravo, gets the mount for Chad Brown. The horse's most recent outing came the 3rd of September at Saratoga. Mile 16th on the Mellon in the Bernard Baruch handicap. The horse finished 3rd by head there, and he was stalked early on, got the lead, and then he got caught right at the wire where Carabon and Forge got to him, but he ran his heart out there. It wasn't a bad race. I think coming here, a bit of a step down in class from the last few. He should really do well. Before that, Saratoga, mile 16th in the Lure Stakes, the horse finished 2nd by 3/4 length. He had a little traffic trouble, but he was coming at the end. It wasn't a bad race. And then before then, the Forbidden Apple at Belmont, 1 mile, July the 14th. Horse finished 2nd by a length behind Voodoo Song. Very wide, but he closed up well at the end. He's already started here at Laurel in the past. He ran this race last year, and he won it by 1/4 lengths, really with a good turn of foot there. Expecting to run the same race again this year. 7-5. Ship price, but he is a horse that should do well. Watch out for him. So to recap my selections for the 7th from Laurel, it's the Grade 3 Baltimore Washington International Turf Cup. Gonna go with the 7 horse projected. I'm gonna go 7-10-1 in the tricast of the trifecta. So now let's get on to race number 8. Race number 8 from Laurel. It's a good race. It's the inaugural running of the Bald Eagle Derby. Purse $150,000. This race is for 3-year-olds here. Field of 9 3-year-olds going the distance of ground of 2,400 meters, with a distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/2 on the Laurel lawn of the turf course. 2,400 meters, 1.5 miles. And like I said, this race is new for the season, and it's quite a good group of horses here. My top selection in this race, I like the four-horse Channel Cat. I'm going to go 429 in the TriCast of the trifecta, 429 TriCast trifecta, but I'm going to do an exacta here also, 4-2. I might actually do an exacta box 4-2. We'll get to that in a second, but we're going to start off with the four-horse, my top selection, Channel Cat. 3-year-old colt by English Channel. Fergal Lynch gets them out for top Pletcher. The horse's most recent appearance came the 12th of September at Kentucky Downs, mile 5/16 in the Dueling Grounds Derby. The horse won by head there at 5-2. Stalked most of the race, got the lead, and he held on. A very good gritty victory for this horse there. It was a good race. Before then, off 6-2 Claymore at Saratoga, Mont 3/8 Inner Turf Course, July 30th. Horse finished second by 3/4 length behind Focus Group, who actually won next start out. This horse was very wide, but had a decent turn of foot at the end. It wasn't a bad race. And then back here at up at Belmont, mile and a quarter in the Belmont Derby. Horse finished fourth by 5 3/4 lengths. Catholic Boy ran a hell of a race and is having a hell of a year. This horse had a little bit of a trouble trip. It was a little bit wide, but closed up well. It wasn't a bad race. And then the American Turf at Churchill on the Yielding Ground. Horse finished sixth. A little bit of a bad start there and a little bit of a turn of foot, but this horse really will like the mile and a half today, which he's getting. He sits a little bit closer. Watch out for him to run a big one, so I'll use him as the top selection. Another horse I'll use here, a bit of a price, is the 2-horse Queen of Con at 20-1, 3-0 followed by Declaration of War. J.D. Acosta picks up this mount for Tom Morley. This horse is first time stateside, first time Lasix, and her most recent outings came in Great Britain, most recently 21st July at Newmarket on the July course, mile and a half in the Aphrodite Stakes. The horse finished fifth by 2 3/4 lengths, and she sat towards the back of the pack, and she never had the good kick. It wasn't the day to win. Before that, in a handicap at Newmarket, a mile and a half, June the 30th, horse did everything right there. She won by length, and she just destroyed the fillies there. She had a great turn of foot, and it was a good race. And then before that, Chepstown, and just a basic allowance novice stakes, a mile and a half, June the 15th, stepping down in class there from the races before. She finished third by neck. She sat closer there. She got caught her at the wire, but she ran her heart out. I backed her this horse quite a few times this spring in the UK. Backed her in the Oaks trial at Linkfield, where she finished fifth, where she just never got the good closing kick. At Linkfield, you want to sit a little bit closer. And then I definitely backed her at Wolverhampton, going a mile and a half on May the 2nd in a novice stakes, where she won by half length. She sat a lot closer than she normally did up until that point, and then she just won for fun. A very good race. She's a horse that's going to like the distance. Bit of a weight break because she's a filly face in the boys. 20-1 horse you definitely want to do a win wager and use on your exotic wagers, so watch out for her. So to recap my selections for the 8th from Laurel, it's the Bald Eagle Derby. Gonna go with the 4-horse Channel Cat as top selection, and also use the 2-horse Queen of Kana as a top selection. I'll go 4-2-9 in the TriCast of the trifecta, 4-2 in the multi-race. So now let's get on to race number 9 from Laurel. It's the All Brandy Stakes. It's going for a purse of $75,000. Races for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 15 horses here, but we have a few things to talk about. The 5 horses are main track only, the 7 horses are main track only, and the 11 and 12 are main track only. So just keep that in mind. They're going the distance of ground here of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16th on the Laurel turf course. 1,700 meters, a mile 16th. My top selection here, I like the I like the number 4 horse Riley's Choice. Gonna go 4-6-2 in the TriCast of the trifecta. 4-6-2 TriCast trifecta. Top selection of 4 horse Riley's Choice. 4-year-old filly by Distorted Humor. There's no rider at the current moment. There still was rider to be announced. Just keep that in mind. Horacio De Paz trains this one. The horse's most recent outing came the 18th of August here at Laurel. 6 furlongs in the Jamalia Stakes. The horse finished 4th by 2 lengths. She just never had the good closing kick there. Distance might have been a little bit too short for this horse. I think routing again today, she should do a little bit better. Before that, Saratoga, 1 mile and turf course off 6-2 Claimer. She finished 6th by 5 lengths. She set the pace early on, but then again, just weakened out of it, couldn't keep up with them there. And then back here at Laurel, 16th of June, 5.5 furlongs on ops 32 Claimer. Horse finished 5th by 2.5 lengths. Again, she wants to rout. Her last time routing in Maryland came the 4th of November here at Laurel, yielding ground similar to what you're going to see today. 1 mile and allowance race. The horse won by 3/4 length. She stalked most of the race, got the lead, and then she dug into a very good race. And then before that at Laurel, mile 16th allowance race last October, horse finished second by a neck, dueling most of the race. Just couldn't get the horse the head in front at the end, but she ran her heart out. She likes this turf course. I think she'll do well back to routing. It's 5-1. I'll take her as a top selection. So to recap my selections for the ninth from Laurel, it's the All Brandy Stakes. Gonna go with the 4-horse Riley's Choice. I'm gonna go 4-6-2 in the TriCast of the trifecta. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck.